starts from the night of Christmas, where everyone was decorating their homes. In this house, we see a man named Manel, who had come to his elder sister's house with his wife and was playing with his nephew. The night was getting dark, so he went to put his nephew to sleep so that he could go home, after which he says goodbye to his sister and leaves. When his wife was driving the car, Manel notices that his mood is not right. Then Manel asks, "What is this? Tell me." His wife says that "I want a baby." Manel says, "I want to, but not now. On the right time." His wife gets angry that you don't want. They were arguing that this car would go ahead of them by crossing them, which would take the car out of control, which his wife somehow managed to take. But it goes to the wrong side. But before this car hits the right place before that, a truck hits their car. The car overturned and he was in a bad condition. In this accident, Manel's life was saved, but his wife was killed. Now let's look at the time after a year, where Manel lives with his cat in such a big house. He learned from the news that a dangerous virus is spreading throughout the country, due to which borders can also be closed, so that the person wherever he stays there and cannot be affected by the virus. Because whoever is infected with this virus, the victim of the virus becomes very violent, meaning angry and more cruel than the limit, like zombies, and bites others badly. But now this virus is in control to some extent. That is, infected people are not biting like zombies. This is the first variant of the virus. Now, everywhere in the news was arguing about this virus, that how did it start? But Manel didn't care about all this. He was already very sad before his wife's death. That's why he doesn't take any precautions and goes out to the city in his car. We see written on many places that welcome to the beginning of the end, meaning you're welcome at the beginning of the end. Now Manel came to the seaside because his wife had bought a boat, from which Manel had come to sell. When he was going back after meeting the customer, his sister's call comes, whose name was Belen. But Manel didn't answer the call. Then he goes to a store where people are buying food like crazy, although it was also said in the news that only the necessary things were bought. But people were scared that if the lockdown is imposed, then we will not be able to leave the house. That's why it is necessary to have the necessary things. After coming home, Manel calls his sister Belen. She tells that my husband is in the army, so because of him, we are being sent to an island, so that we can be saved from the infection of the virus. We will be given a house to stay there. So you also come with us, my brother. We are leaving for there tonight, but Manel clearly refuses. But Belen insists that my brother, we should stay together at this time, so please you also come. And yes, the airport near you, flights are also going to the island from there, so no doubt you come tomorrow, but do come. Now Manel himself did not want to go, but he agrees to his sister's insistence. And the next morning, he left for the airport with his cat. On the way, he also sees the cars of many other people who were going to the airport to go to the island. Manel was listening to the news. Then it is found that the second variant of the virus, that is, the wave of the next virus from the last, has come at night, in which this virus spreads by cutting and infecting the blood of the infected person. Manel reached the airport and was in a long line to buy tickets, because everyone wanted to go to the island. But then it is said that the flight to the island has been cancelled, which made everyone worried that how will we go to the island now? Then he got a call from Belen. She says that the airport is being closed because of the second variant of the virus. That's why all the flights were cancelled. For now, you go home and don't go out. I will keep updating you and tell you what to do next. Then there is a riot at the airport too, and Manel somehow came out with his cat and left the car for home. But on the way, he sees long lines of traffic. Even after waiting for many hours, when the traffic did not open, he took his cat and left for home on foot. It was night by the time he came home, and what he saw, he was shocked, because there were army men standing near his neighbor's house, who had made a place like a plastic tunnel around his house, from which they were forcibly dragging the neighbor, because he was infected with the new variant of the virus. Menel came home and slept. The next morning, Belen called. She says that the situation is getting worse. It has been heard that the government is making a safe zone for people, where they can keep people away from infection, because they will be quarantined there. That is, they will stay there. But the inside news is that there will be more danger there. Obviously, if the number of people is more in one place, the risk of infection can increase. So whatever happens, don't leave the house. Don't go to the safe zone at all. Then, as soon as the situation gets better, we will take you from here. Manel sees in the news that the borders have also been closed, and when he checked his phone, there were also videos of this virus being transmitted. How to save yourself from infected people, and how do other variants of people infect others? Seeing this, Manel was worried. What is happening in this country? Then the government sent an emergency message that after a few hours, all people will come out and markets will also be closed. That's why Menel goes to the store to buy food. But people had already emptied the entire store. And half of the things that Menel was trying to buy, people were also snatching it and running away. Menel also put some things in the bag and he goes out. Then he saw that an infected person was attacking the police. Menel came out with a rod so that he could save the police officer. But the infected person's attention went to him, and he started running towards Menel. He tries to save himself, but then the infected person dies from being shot. The bullet that the officer had fired. Menel started moving forward to help him, but the officer was also infected because of the cut. That's why he tells Menel to stay away from himself. After Menel left, the officer shot himself and killed himself so that he could not harm others. Menel comes home and arranges his security. He puts extra locks, rods, and fat keys on the door so that no one can enter. The network was also shut down by evening. At night, the army brought a bus to his area so that people could reach the safe zone. He announces and tells everyone to sit in the bus. He turns off the lights at home and hides there so that people can't take him with them. Now let's look at the time after 2 weeks. Menel was left alone in this whole area. He makes a video for his sister. He says that I am absolutely fine here. The only problem is that the food and drink is over. Then when he sends the video, he can't do it because the network was shut down. He thinks that even if I don't die from the infection, but I will definitely die of hunger. So he takes his weapons and goes in search of food. He checked many houses, but he didn't find anything to eat. He had come a long way from his house. When he went to a house, he met an old woman who was on a wheelchair because her legs didn't work. Menel thinks that he will definitely get food here, but no, there was no food here either. The old woman tells him that I had kept an eye on some houses here, so you go to those houses. I hope there is food there. When Menel went to the houses mentioned, he found things to eat, which both ate to satisfy their hunger. That's why the old woman tells Menel that it would have been better if you had gone with the army. If we didn't have anything to eat, we would have killed each other with hunger. Menel says that we shouldn't lose hope. I will go to find food. When he came to a house, he got a lot of food, from which he brings home. At night, both of them are very happy after eating their stomach full. He tells the old woman about his wife and says that it was good that she died. See what we are getting to see? We don't even have food. After saying a few more things, he came to his house. Then he makes videos of his sister and sends them, with the hope that whenever the network comes, videos and messages will be sent. He then went to sleep. But then he heard the voice of the old woman on the walkie-talkie. She says, "Turn on the radio quickly." When she turned on the radio, the government officers said that those who are still alive, they came to the camping area safe zone and met us. We will help you. Sent to Ireland. The old woman says to the walkie-talkie that I don't think all this is right. In the crowd, the infection will spread quickly. Menel says there is a shortage of food. We will have to go there. She says I am on a wheelchair. I will not be able to go. Menel says it is my job. I will help you in every way and take you with me. The next morning, he packs his luggage and comes to the old woman's house. But seeing this, he breaks that the old woman is dead, because she took life by taking too much medicine. He also left a letter. Thank you for taking care of me. I could not be a burden on you anymore. So I took this step. Now you go ahead alone from here. Then he left the house alone with a sad heart. But an infected woman attacks him. He pushes the woman away and shoots her to save his life. Although he feels bad doing this, he leaves a message for his sister again. He says now the infected people have come in the streets. I can't wait for you to come. You will take me with you, so I am coming myself. Saying this, he leaves for the safe zone camping area from where he will be sent to the island. But because the road was closed, he started going through the jungle. But a lot of infected people follow him. But he does not stop the bike. He reaches the camping area where he was told to come. But unfortunately, there were also piles of dead bodies there, because all the people who had come here had died due to the infection. Now his bike overturns after colliding with a dead body, due to which the box with the cat also fell down. And now when he tried to start the bike, he could not do it. So he takes the box with the cat and walks out of the jungle, because the infected people were after him. He runs to a building and closes the door. Infected people start hitting their heads there, and he leaves the back road. He sees a small ship, but he was worried to see blood on the ship. Then the cabin started making a noise, and when he opened the door and saw there was a small baby who was also infected, and he was looking very drowsy. Menel thinks that if someone was very infected, I would have killed him and taken the ship. But how do I kill the child? Thinking this, he takes a small boat from the ship and leaves. On the way, he again messaged Balan that, Sister, you were right not to go to the safe zone, because there is also a bad situation there. Some people died and some became infected. It was night while traveling. In the water, he also sees the dead bodies of the infected people. Then he saw a small ship coming towards him. He signals it and stops it. The people of the ship put a gun on Manel. But when he said that I am not infected, he brought him on the ship. Then all of them go to a big ship. Manel and his cat are fed. There were 3 people here. One was the pilot, the captain of the ship, and the third was the captain's son. The pilot gives Manel a cabin to sleep. He asked the pilot, that did you find only me alive? He says, yes, you are first. After his departure, Manel looks out of the window, where a family is also coming towards his ship to help. The next morning, Manel met the other people who have been living here since before. He asks the pilot about that family, that where are they who are coming to the ship to help last night? The pilot says no one came to you last night. Hearing this, he felt strange that he started to look at everything very carefully, and he tells the pilot that the family who came last night, they were kept in the basement. The pilot says, don't think so much and mind your own business. Menel felt strange again. He says, you are a pilot. Then what are you doing on the ship with them? I know there are planes and helicopters in the nearby area. Then we can also go to the island through them. The pilot got angry. He says, Menel, if you want to stay alive, mind your own business. But now Menel thinks of running away from here alone. When he started to leave at night, he remembered about the family. When he came to the basement looking for them, where the family members were tied up and there was a bandage on their mouth. Menel removes the bandage from their mouth. He asks, where is our woman and child? Menel refused that I don't know. But then the captain's man came here who pointed a gun directly at Menel. But before shooting, Menel said that I don't know where they are. But before shooting, at the right time, the pilot comes and kills the captain's man. He also scolds Menel that I had forbidden you to stay away from these matters, after which he quietly ran away with the small boat. But the captain's people saw them, and they started shooting, in which the man dies whom they had just saved, and the pilot gets injured. When Menel reaches the shore, he takes the pilot to the hospital, where he could get a helicopter from the hospital's roof. On the way, Menel asks him what happened to that family's woman and child. The pilot says that this captain is a very bad and disgusting person. He saves these people, takes them to the island, makes the dead his slaves, and does wrong with the women. After hearing this, Menel also got angry. He says that when the situation gets better, then such people should be punished who are taking advantage of people in trouble. As soon as he reached the hospital, Menel started running towards them to attack them. But Menel shoots them all with his machine gun and kills them. Then he came in with the pilot's support. But there was no nurse or doctor here. There was blood everywhere. That means there was destruction here too. Menel kills him. Then the pilot tells him to take out his bullet. Menel had not done this before today, nor was it his profession. But today the situation was so difficult that he had to work as a doctor himself. When he went to pick up his stuff, another infected man followed him. Then Menel shoots him with great difficulty and saves his life. But the sound of the gun and a lot of infected people come and follow Menel. He saved his life and ran away when a nurse came in front of him and helped him. She took Menel to the area where the infected people had not reached yet. Apart from this nurse, there was a doctor and 3 children there. Menel goes to another room to take out his bullet. Then he comes and tells that he has taken out the bullet. He will be fine after some time. Menel tells him that he is a pilot by profession. So there are helicopters here. The nurse says that yes, there are helicopters. But he is standing down. But there are a lot of infected people around, so going there is not free of any danger. Menel tells the nurse that when our accident happened, I brought my wife here. Then he went to the place where his wife died. With a sad heart, he says, "Please forgive me that I did not listen to you. I needed time to be a child, but I did not know that you would leave me so soon." Now Menel goes up and thinks how to get to the helicopter safely. Then the bell of his phone starts ringing. A lot of messages start coming. That is, the network had come. When he checked, the bell was his video message that we have reached the island. There is something very good here. We are enjoying a lot. Now Menel was about to tell about himself. Then he heard the sound of bullets. These were some goons who came here in search of food. Menel quickly goes down and tells them that the goons have come to the hospital. Before they reach the helicopter, we will have to reach the helicopter. And now he started moving forward while avoiding the infected people, where an infected person comes and cuts the doctor. Although Menel killed him, Menel was thinking that I have also become infected. She tells the nurse to take care of the children, and she goes inside the infected person, after which these people moved forward. Now they had to go to the helicopter by avoiding the infected people. Then Menel uses his brain. He sees some barricades here, under which there were also tires. He joins all those barricades and makes a circle in which these people enter and leave. But a tire got stuck in one place. When he tried to get rid of it, the tire cracked and made a noise so that all the infected people come to him. But because of the barricades, he could not harm them. But when all the infected people started climbing from above, he started killing them with axes. But their number was very high, and there was no use. Meanwhile, the nurse opens a barricade and runs away with the children, and quickly comes and sits in the helicopter. After a while, the pilot also came in the helicopter. But I don't know what happened. The helicopter does not start, and some infected people jump over the gate and start coming to the helicopter area. Then Menel comes quickly and starts cutting them with an axe. Hearing this, the goons also came here. They also had a gun, and they also enter the helicopter area. Menel and the pilot were worried that what to do now. Both of them made a plan by looking at each other. Menel breaks a gate with his axe so that a lot of infected people can enter the helicopter area quickly. Now the goons got busy fighting them. By then, the helicopter had also started, and the pilot takes him and starts flying. The nurse throws the ladder down for Menel, on which he climbs and comes in the helicopter with great difficulty. He was very happy because he was just about to reach the island. He calls Belen and says, "Sister, I have shown the house. I am about to reach the island. The helicopter is about to land." But from there, Balin says something. Menel says, "My brother, go back immediately, because there are also a lot of infected people there. This place is also not safe anymore." And his phone is cut off. But Menel took the helicopter and landed on the island, because now he will save his sister and her family and take them back. And with this film ends here.